Welcome back to another episode of What You Own. I'm here with Kayla.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
I had Kayla here today to specifically talk about something big. And we're in it right now. Your home. Quote of the day is from Wayne Dyer. He says, "If you believe it will work out, you will see opportunities. If you don't believe it will work out, you will see obstacles." So we let that marinate. But yeah, I just remember, I don't know what video it is, but you have a video and you were crying and you said you don't want many things out of life, but you wanted to have a home. So, talk me through your thought process about that. Like, why do you feel it's so important for you to have a home personally?
I'm tearing up already. No, just joking. But yeah, I really meant everything that I said in that video. I didn't even mean to get so emotional on camera. But for a while now, I knew that a home is a goal that I really wanted to attain. It's been on my goal list, because I make yearly goals each year for maybe 3 years now. Originally, I really wanted to fix up a home, have a fixer-upper. But then after so many obstacles that I had, at the end of the day, all I wanted was my own place. So, yeah.
But why? Why did you want your own place? What is the root of that, you think?
I don't know what the root of it is, but I guess ever since I was little, it was just always one of my goals that I've had. It's always something that I wanted. Maybe it's a part of that whole white picket fence, the family, the dog, the American dream sort of. Yeah.
So you haven't really thought about it?
I haven't thought too much about it, but question myself, why do I want this? Why do I feel like this is so important to me? No, I haven't.
All right. Okay, so in my mind, I'm just thinking, she wanted it so she can decorate, but that's just a joke. That's not serious. But so talking about the process, because I know you began you actually going to see houses earlier this year, and I think it was how long was the process for you?
So this year that I documented going to look for homes wasn't my first time going to look for homes, which some people don't know, and I'm not sure if I shared, but back in 2018 is actually when I had a different realtor and I was looking for homes then too. But the process, it was really challenging. It was almost like what I went through this year, but then I can say that I just was not prepared, for the disappointment, and then just issues with, it was just a lot of stuff. So what was your question again?
How long was the process and how was it?
Oh yeah. So if we count that all in, I mean the process could have been 2 years.
Oh wow.
But if we don't, then I started in April. Was it April? No, I guess I really started in January, getting my loan and then talking to a loan advisor and then finally meeting up with the realtor, going to look for houses. So I guess you could say it took 11 months. If we count January. Yeah.
Wow.
11 months.
And really a year if you count everything. Excuse me.
Everything what?
Your past experience.
Oh yeah.
I have this fact written down here. I was watching a CNBC video and they were talking about how the black and white home ownership gap is bigger than it was in 1960. Which is kind of crazy, but I think part of the struggle is all of the discrimination and stuff that happens, but I think it's also the lack of experience or knowledge in what you're doing. I feel like seeing you go through and get this house, I learned a lot about houses and real estate and how it actually works behind the scenes.
Yes,
and I don't think we suffer I don't know, nowadays it's not that we suffer from, somebody trying to discriminate against us or trying to withhold this opportunity from us getting a house. I think it's just we don't know, we're not fully prepared into or abreast with what goes on behind the scenes to actually get it going, Like just like with this house, there's a lot of stuff in here that you know, even when you do the walkthrough with the inspector and stuff, he doesn't necessarily know or figures out because he's only there to, you know, appraise, or the appraiser, they're only here to appraise and look at so much.
Right.
So I think it's a lot of things that we just aren't aware of, and the knowledge isn't there.
Right. And I was gonna say that, like, even before you get to this point where you can go and start looking for homes, you have to have a pre-approval letter from your lender to show that, you know, everything is in check. And when I say everything, I mean like your credit, employment, what else do they check? Is that it? Oh, your bank statement. I mean, it's a lot of stuff behind the scenes, or not even just behind the scenes, but pre-qualifiers that you must have to even begin buying a home. For example, like, I didn't even know this, but I think you have to be on the same job for at least 2 years, or within the same field for at least 2 years. And so if you wanted to buy a home and you just started a new job in a new field, you know, depending on how much you make in that new job, you may have to wait. So for some people, it can be hard,
right,
if you're in between jobs a lot. So
and not even a lot. I mean, I think if some people, you know, you get the guts to leave that terrible place of work, and then you know, you try to, you know, do better things with your life, and you're like, what, like, I've been working here for a year, you know, you can make $70,000 a year or whatever it may be, and then, you know, you feel like you're getting rejected because, you know, like, why y'all putting this on me when they do it for everybody, quote unquote. So yeah, it is difficult. I feel like it's difficult to feel like, you know, I don't know, you feel like somebody's coming after you, making it difficult purposely. And I know you said that before, but I think it's part of, like, also not knowing how it usually goes for everybody else. It's like you're in a bubble, so that's why, like, platforms like YouTube help when people share their experiences. And then I think, how do you feel like home ownership now? Do you feel the weight of it? Does it feel like a huge responsibility? Does it feel like a blessing? What does it feel like?
Oh, right now it feels like a blessing. I feel like the weight has been lifted off of my shoulders just because of how hard my journey was. Even though I did have a big hiccup when I moved in here with my furnace going out, and that was like a $2,000 expense, it's still a blessing for me, because I was blessed that I was able to save so much money by living with my parents before moving in here. So I had enough to cover that expense. So yeah, it's a blessing. And I feel like it always will be a blessing.
I do too. I think one thing is, like, great about home ownership, well, whatever we may overlook, is that, you know, you can get a house, but when you get a house, there's always going to be something wrong with it. Whether it's new or a fixer-upper, quote unquote. But because even in my new development of a neighborhood, there's stuff like they build houses without gutters. So that's not something that you would normally experience. Like, that's an expense you might as well go ahead and, you know, have the money for saved up already. So it's always something else, I feel like, with the home buying process in general. Even once you get the house, it's like, oh, really? Like, there's something else now. There's always another surprise. So
yeah, there's always another surprise, and that's why it's good to have, like, a little extra, you know, a little rainy day fund pocket change to cover any expense that, you know, your home insurance doesn't cover. Right.
So I know there are a lot of challenges as far as, like, even with the knowledge, but as far as, like, with the money and, like, coming up with a down payment, do you remember some of the home buying assistance programs that they have out there now?
So I'm really only familiar with the Georgia Dream home ownership program that offers financial relief or financial aid, I guess, to home buyers in terms of, like, the down payment assistance and your closing costs. But I know there's so many other programs. I know, like, if you live within the city of Atlanta, they offer something specifically for those people who are teachers or, like, nurses or firefighters and stuff like that. And I think it was a good amount of money if you live right, like, within the city of Atlanta. There's so many other programs, though.
Yeah, I know there's NACA. I know there was, is it the Department of Agriculture? Who
oh,
has
the USDA loan?
USDA, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's that too, which I was looking into.
Yeah, it's for like rural counties. So was Henry County one? Or it wasn't one?
No.
I think Henry County wasn't one, but
No.
if you go to the next county over, it may be. So if you go like to Forsyth County, places like Carrollton, places that aren't necessarily metro Atlanta and super populated.
Right. And I wanted to do that because there was like a period where, you know, a lot of the things weren't working out for me in a home that was already stick built. So I started looking at mobile homes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, you know what? I don't know if I really want a mobile home. How about I build? And so the USDA loan, it offers you a chance to build on land. So the land and your dream home can be combined into one big loan, basically. But the catch is that the land you choose has to be within a rural area. And so, I mean, of course, like I don't want to be too far out from the city and my family. So the area in which I found was about 30 minutes away from my family and maybe 45 from the city. So I was like, okay, cool. But it was so hard to find land within that area that was a good price. And then knowing that I'd also have to pay for a home to be built on the land, I just thought it would be too expensive.
Right, that's a lot. Like
Yeah.
water lines, electricity, sewage being run, all this.
And I ended up getting a quote from a builder. I found a floor plan of a home that I wanted to build, and before they even told me how much it would cost to build that specific house, just the clearance of the land, like you're saying, running the pipes, everything like that, she was saying it could cost about $50,000. And the piece of land I was looking at, I think it was around 11. So just for all of those things, I'm already $66,000, and my whole budget for my home buying journey was $150. So I easily would have gone over my budget.
Right.
Easily by building.
I think, yeah, like I was saying earlier, like the budget is the biggest thing for me, because people can buy houses, but if you look in the last recession and housing bubble and everything, a lot of like black people lost houses and like homes more because they bought houses they didn't necessarily, they could afford at the time, but there was no financial safeguard. They didn't have the emergency savings saved up, and they probably had a higher mortgage rate or an adjustable rate mortgage or whatever it may be. So it's very much of a game to play too. Like I know that, you know, when you dream about a house, it's kind of difficult. You walk into a house, you love it, and the price is within your budget. It's kind of hard to say, oh well, maybe I should lower my budget or make sure it's, you know, falls underneath a certain level. But I think it's really important to like make sure you're thinking through and rationalizing your purchase before you actually get it, because you know it'll just make you feel more secure. I got something in my hair?
No.
Oh.
I was just thinking, like, you know, talking about the budget, I know I said that my budget was $150.
Yeah.
But I can't admit that with the market being so competitive that I started like on Realtor.com and on Zillow, like I increased my maximum amount to like maybe sometimes 175, 180, just to see what was out there, because you know you don't have to offer as much as they want you to, but with the market being so competitive, it's almost like you have to. And so I did up my budget a little bit, and I was like, you know what, if I see something that's priced, it'll still be okay, because my lender ran the numbers for me on what the mortgage would look like if I did buy a house that was 175.
Right. But don't go with what they give you, because their job is to give you as much as possible. As much as possible. Like you can buy that much, but do you really need that much house? That's the real thing.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, so you get pre-qualified for a certain amount, but at the end of the day, you choose how much you want to spend on your home.
Right. Any last thing you want to say?
Last things? Like what?
Well, I'm just thinking about that apartment you in, so I'm just happy that like you have your own four walls and you're not like having to share a wall with anybody. That's one of the biggest blessings of this all.
Yes, definitely. It's really nice and refreshing to just have my own space and to be able to like really design it the way I want to, but also walk in these doors and know that like this is my home. Like every part, every inch of this land that I'm on, I own and I am fully responsible for. And so it's a good feeling to me. well, I mean, I can't say it doesn't make me stressed sometimes because of the things I have to do, but it's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah, you can make fun of it. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think home ownership is a big responsibility, but I think it's also more so of a blessing. From that same video I was watching, they were saying that home ownership is seen as like the biggest indicator, biggest way to create generational wealth. And I don't necessarily know if that's true, but I feel like it is a big indicator. Like if you have a secure place for your family to be and exist and to pass down, it is very much a key to having that bigger picture, you know. So I feel like this is truly is a blessing, and it is fun. It is a journey, you know. I think if you embrace it as a journey versus something just to get and then, you know, that's it. Like once the house is done, like once you got it, you don't want to do anything else to it, you know. It's making it more difficult when things pop up unexpected and you got to actually pay to get the grass cut and all this extra, the maintenance of it. So yeah, that's another episode of What You Own. Thank you for coming, Kayla, aka Young Lady Business. I will see you guys next week. I don't know what we're doing next week, but it's going to be fun. Check out her channel. She has, you're doing 2 videos a week, Sunday and Wednesday. So go check it out. Right, double upload. Right, beautiful content. Editing is impeccable. But yeah, thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time.